It's here, and I'm going to get it. And the big moment. Dun dun dun! Look at this beauty. As you guys know, I had the original boosted board for the past year and a half. Absolutely love it. That thing has come in handy so many times, whipping through the city to and from my destinations faster than a bike, faster than a car, in and out of traffic. I mean, it is the most fun I've ever had on a skateboard. I've been skateboarding now ever since I was like 5, 6 years old maybe. And ever since then, there's always been this little thought in the back of my head that says, when can we ride without pushing? I think every skateboarder on the planet has thought about that. And finally, Boosted Board did it a couple years ago. And it's the coolest thing. You know, people think you're crazy spending that much money on a skateboard and that's not the right way to ride a skateboard. You should push like normal. Those are the people that have never ridden one before. I can promise you, if you hop on a boosted board and you ride it for the first time, you're gonna feel like you're in the future. Like you're George Jetson, flying around. It is absolutely amazing. The experience, hands down, bar none, boosted board makes the best board on the market. It's like the Lamborghini of a skateboard. There's a few changes from the version 1 to the new version 2, and I'm gonna go over a few of those with you now. The first big change that they made is the wheels. These new wheels are 80 millimeters as opposed to the 75 millimeters on the previous version. And let me tell you something, it makes a huge difference. You can really grip the road. It's like you're just stuck to that pavement and you can carve and dig in so hard to your turns and the board is not gonna come out from underneath you. They also have a new core, which makes them much more lightweight. The next big difference is the new trucks. These trucks are custom made for this new boosted board. Now, if you had the original boosted board, you'll be able to tell the difference immediately as soon as you get on. I can't really explain what the difference is, but I'd say it's just a much more stable ride and you have much more control over maneuvering with these new trucks. The next new feature is the addition of these LEDs right here, so you can see exactly how much battery life you have remaining just at a quick touch. Next upgrade is enclosed motors, which means you now have complete waterproofing of this entire board. On the original boosted board, you had to be really careful about riding through puddles, hitting wet pavement, because any sort of dust and grime and wetness that got into your motors, you could fry out your boosted board and you have to send it back to get repaired. That's never a fun thing. So on the old boosted board, you would have to stop, pick up your board, walk it over a puddle, wipe your feet off, get back on the board and go. Now it's a completely different story and you can just plow right through these puddles and wet spots. It's not a great idea to go riding on wet pavement because trust me, it'll come out from underneath you. Skateboarding on wet roads is never a good thing. The next upgrade is kind of behind the scenes. There's USB ports in the front and the rear of the board. And these USB ports can be used to power and connect other USB devices like maybe a headlight or brake lights, plug in your phone, give you some extra juice if your battery dies on your phone. The deck is the same deck that they had on the previous board. It's by Loaded, and Loaded makes some killer longboard decks. And it still has that nice spring and that nice bounce to it. As you can see, it's got a nice little curve, and when you step on this board, it gives that nice bounce. So it really helps stabilize when you hit bumps and uneven pavement. I mean, you really don't feel that stuff and you go right over it. It's pretty cool. Next up is the Bluetooth remote. Now, the old remote has gray buttons on it and a gray trigger. The new remote is all black. And also, as you can see, there's a blue LED for the Bluetooth, and this one has the orange LED. So a couple little minor changes there, no big deal. The other cool feature is when you're swapping modes on the fly, it's much faster and gives you much more responsive beeps to let you know which mode you're in. So the old version, I'm gonna press it 3 times to change the mode. And then the new version, you can see it's much faster, more responsive to switch from mode to mode. Another cool feature in regards to the remote is that Boosted added 2 new Bluetooth radios to the front and the rear of their boards, which means you can now connect both your remote and the Boosted board app at the same time. Previously on the original board, you could only connect one or the other. So when you're riding, you can now pull out your phone and check exactly how much battery you have left and how many miles you have until you're completely dead. And that's a really nice touch. The old board only had one Bluetooth radio, and you would lose signal in built-up areas where there's lots of Wi-Fi and lots of cell towers and things like that. So riding around here in Philly, and even back in Lancaster, I would hit dead zones, and the board would completely drop out and lose its signal. And that is not fun when you're going 23 miles an hour down the road, and the board just has no brakes, no nothing, and you're like, oh my God. And then seconds later, it would connect again, and you'd be back to normal. With the new board, I haven't seen any of those issues yet, and I haven't lost connection once. And last but not least, the most requested feature that Boosted received about the original Boosted board. You can now swap out the battery on your Boosted board version 2. It comes with a standard battery. The standard battery gives you roughly 6 miles. The extended battery that they're making comes out in early 2017, and that one gets up to 14 miles. That is like gonna be such a liberating feeling to not have to worry about charging your board. So if you have 2 batteries, you throw one in your bag, go cruising, and as soon as this one dies on the board, you pull over to the side of the road, unscrew this one, put the new one in, and boom, you got another 6 to 7 miles. And it's probably one of the biggest features across the whole design change of the new Boosted board. So with all that said, let's go ride.
We'll talk dollars later. Right now, let's talk test drive.